What were we saying? This.
Well, first off, we made, what you made? You had a story, you made a video, and then we bitched about the one email that your friend Gary got, and we somehow managed to get 20 people interested.
Woo!
Whatever else we might want to say. So thanks for that. That was nice.
A lot of. We're just regular dudes, man, and enlisted and we got a hell of a story to tell. And also, anybody that's thinking about going in the military, I don't know what there is to think about. It's nothing but opportunity. And my God, you'll never travel like that. You'll never meet better friends. You'll never learn more than in that diversity. You want to learn diversity. Good God.
Yep.
And that's what I was about to tell you about. So in the last video, when we were talking about the guy that made him smoke tear gas.
Yeah.
That's true. His name was Lansing, Jason Lansing. And actually from Lansing, Michigan. I thought it was funny. But anyway,
there's a lot of that.
He always called me. He's like, Peas, why'd you make me do that? Peas. And I always reference myself Peas. It's actually written on my helmet. Well, it's faded now. My helmet. Oh, I got another thing to tell you. My helmet. That's hilarious. I brought my helmet back with me. But anyway, yeah, fucking Kevlar. Piece of shit, dude. We ditched it every chance we got. When you're running with it, all you hear is like this whistling noise on your, and you just feel like an idiot in that thing. Feel it.
That's when bring it down.
No, it's my real one.
Because we had these shitty Kevlar ones we walked around with.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks about the same.
It's all jacked up on the top. I think that's
what we had as well.
Yeah, that's from close quarters combat. I had to kill a guy. No, I'm kidding. That's from probably banging in tent pegs.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's about what we wore.
Yeah. Oh, smell it. Yeah. Oh, why'd you? I was kidding. I can't believe you did that.
It smells like Kevlar.
Yeah. It smells like old sweat. By the way, these are tan, like light tan when you first get them.
Yeah.
And they turn that way because it just rains sweat off this fucking thing.
All of my stuff is in a trunk. It all smells like amine, which is a chemical.
All military stuff smells the same to me. You pull it out of the bag, it's like it smells like starch, military clothes, and cigarettes. But this thing would just rain, and that, believe it or not, we didn't wear them that often, except on airplanes and during a hurricane or some kind of deployment where you had to.
Yeah.
Because they're unwieldy. And then when you're in boot camp, you'll wear it, and then the first day you wear it, and you wake up the next day, you're not going to believe how fucking stiff your neck is going to be. Because how often do you have 6 pounds on your head all the time, right?
Maybe football.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, you had to have it, but, hey, gear adrift is a gift. So I was getting out, and I was like, you know what? I've had this helmet the whole time. So this guy's shit is laying right here, so I just switched him out. Kept my helmet, took his helmet, turned it in, because they had CLI gear or career length issue gear back then, so you had to turn it in or they'd charge you. But after we got a couple deployments, nobody gave a shit, man. If you're going to like Bosnia, you're like, I lost my bulletproof vest. They're like, what size are you? I'm like, I don't know, whatever. And they're like, they just give it to you. The guy's like, it's more of a headache for him to figure out. He's just like, fucking hey, man. And then, have you ever looked in supply? Mountains of shit, man. Yeah. Just the bulletproof vests stacked a mile high. Anyway, the point we're here. Talked about that video, and at the time when I said that I made the guy smoke the CS, he was like, Peas, why'd you do that to me? And the reason my nickname is Peas is because on Okinawa, I was a libo risk. Actually, I was a libo risk. I'm going to go with my entire time. Do you know what libo risk is?
Yeah, I had a buddy who was libo risk.
What happens in the Navy if you're libo risk?
Well, so I didn't know him when he was put on.
Oh, you didn't even know
libo risk. I had just showed up. So apparently this was probably weeks before I showed up to Pearl Harbor, the Honolulu, my permanent duty station.
Oh, my God.
So I guess he just got drunk, like threw a fire extinguisher case, and then like was bleeding everywhere. And then he walked into his barracks room, called it a night. A lot of Jack Daniels in his system.
That's it?
And it was like a blood trail all the way up to his room that just stayed forever. The whole 4 years I was there, you could find out where Garrett lived. And
That was the name?
So yeah, Mark Garrett. And so we went on Westpac, which was a 6-month
I know
deployment.
what a Westpac is, man. Never got to do one.
Turned into an 8-month deployment. So that's majority of a year, like out to sea. And this guy didn't get to see any Liberty ports because our captain was such a fucking cunt about it. He was like, he's going to lose his shit and get our ass in trouble. So he wouldn't let him off the fucking boat, man.
You know what? That's tight ass, man. Yeah. At least Libo risks in the Marines, they'd be like, you can go out into town, Marine.
Right.
But you got to have an NCO with you.
Because you lose your mind if you don't get to fucking relax.
Are you kidding me? Or just get off the ship. Or
he got out for 3 hours once in Singapore, and he had to have a fucking chaperone. You know, and it was that's the only thing he saw. We saw Thailand, Singapore, Japan, Australia, Guam, and his ass was just stuck on board, same fucking shitty submarine. So he didn't re-up.
He didn't re-up. He didn't re-up.
Majority of our
the fattest Marine I ever saw in the fucking world. Everyone called him Stucky. Shocker, right? But he worked in the company office, and I'd go by there to get paperwork or something like that. And I always wanted to be like, hey, look, how the fuck are you still in the Marine Corps? But apparently, he had a real condition. And then I'm like, well, how did he get through boot camp? Well, he just starved almost to death. And then when he got into the Marine Corps, 3 hots on the cot, you can eat as much as you want. No one... You think those civilians taking your
I know
they don't give a shit.
I get fat as shit after boot camp, man. I know.
And a cab driver will tell you that. So we were taking the cabs off in Camp Lejeune. We didn't know what to do, and they're like, you can see them look in the rearview mirror, and they'd be like, "So you guys are new, right?" And we're like, "We're in civilian clothes." We're like, "Fuck you," But still, you got this shaved head.
Yeah.
Shave, clean, your skin.
You're all part of the same cult. It looks like.
Fuck. And they're like, well, and this is what this lady said. I swear to God, she goes, and I said, well, how do you know that? Because I was drunk. Shocker. And she goes, well, new guys come here, they're lean like you guys, but then they start getting healthy. That's what she said. I thought that was nice. Yeah. Well, she's probably married to a fucking Marine gunnery sergeant. And she's from the Philippines, got the big PX in the sky. And now she's doing her thing. But anyway, back to the point. The reason my nickname was Peas is because I was literally the only PFC on the Congo. I was the only PFC on Okinawa at the time, at 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. And I'll tell you how I found out. We went to jungle warfare training twice. You go to NTA, Northern Training Area, in Okinawa, and that's like a battalion exercise. And then you go to another one, which is a company level one, so smaller, right? So you're doing it's beautiful, man. They have thatch huts. It looks like a Vietnam movie. You're throwing fucking grenades and smoke grenades in these thatch hut buildings, and they got these, dong bai, and you shoot them right in the face. No, you can't.
Real people or just actors?
They're real people, but you're not supposed to shoot them in the face with paintball rounds. Yeah. No, they're all, I'm kidding. They're all, here's the best part. They usually use Motor T and S3, people that are non-combat, not O3s. They use them for OP4, opposition force, terrorists and shit. So they put on civilian clothes and they go out and, they really do this, man. It's a big deal. You go out, you come out of the jungle and you see this thatch hut. My lieutenant was so pissed at me. Lieutenant Gerard. He's a general now. He's a fucking general in the Marine Corps. He was pissed at me, man, because I was a point man. That's supposed to be a big deal in the Marine Corps, but it's okay, so I'm the first guy to get smoked. And they're like, no. You guide the platoon. It's very important. And it is, man, because you know how to walk the guys.
Yeah.
But you have what's called you got a guy with a SAW, squad automatic weapon, which used to be the M249 SAW, 800 rounds plus a minute. It's a nice little weapon if you know how to take care of it. But you got that guy with you, and he just points where you're going. And my buddy said, dude, the reason you're a point man is you're so fucking lazy, but you're smart. He's like, so you're not gonna fucking make us work to get to the objective. I'm like, I'm not going over a hill. We can just skirt this thing, right?
Yeah.
but I'm not going to walk us into an ambush. But anyway, we walked in this village, and no one told us what we were supposed to be doing. It was this big exercise. It was like a raid. And my Lieutenant Gerard, he was from the Citadel. And literally, you know what he said before this fake operation? He said, men, we're going up against a force that wants to enslave our women, or no, enslave our children and rape our women. And I was like, holy dog shit.
Well, that can't be good, sir.
Question. What if you have any children? I was just waiting for one dumbass Marine to go, right. Sir, what if we don't have any children?
I ain't got no children.
There's always somebody, man. But anyway, it was just a bitch. Okay, sorry. But here's the thing. So after we got back from JWTC, I was in Okinawa. It was 1999, and I have a picture I sent you of my restriction sheet, where every 2 hours it's got to get signed by the duty officer. Yeah, you're never allowed to get out of uniform. It doesn't sound terrible, but when your boots are up here, if you like that, every time you untie them, it's funny. Your leg retains that size for like about a half an hour. Everybody knows that. But you got to wear that shit all day, and it's got to be perfect. And then also I had extra duty. So, and this all stems from jungle warfare training. So we get back, the whole battalion. This is a battalion exercise. And the battalion commander says, well, you idiots, the battalion before us dangled some dude out the window and playing a game called Trust Me, because you got to trust your squad and all that kind of stuff. Well, they held him out, and this is not a funny story. It's kind of tragic. They held him by his ankles, and they're 3 stories up, and there's nothing but pavement below. And he panicked. He was like, bring me up, and they dropped him. And he broke his neck, and he died. And that's absolutely awful. I'm not going to say his name or anything like that. But from that incident, from 3 shitheads, they restricted, oh, you can't buy beer, you can't. Now, keep in mind, Camp Schwab is still a base. It's a normal base. So men can go down to the store and buy beer. But no, so we get back from, jungle warfare training. He's like, I know you fuckers have been in the mud. You've been in the jungle for, 4 weeks, this and that, but no drinking. No drinking this weekend. We got back on a Friday. And here's the shittiest part. Like, when you're in these big units, everything you have is covered in mud and like this clay. Your weapons, everything, right? So you got to go back, clean everything. And it takes all fucking night and day.
Yeah.
And no one cares. No one's like, I know you're tired. You're so tired that you're seeing shit. I was literally seeing things. And then finally they give you a break. And then they have a fucking battalion formation, which takes all goddamn day. And all guys want to do is maybe have a cold beer, maybe a fucking Coke, something. But they make you wait some more. It just goes on. And everybody's so pissed.
Yeah.
By the time this guy organized, and fucking Lieutenant Colonel Smith, never see you, I'll fucking kill you. He had these goddamn, he just like you would think. Marine. Fucking bitch. Fuckface. If I fucking, him and Sergeant Major Johnson, I know it sounds like a common last name, but if you were Sergeant Major Johnson,
sounds like a comic book.
No. In 1999 to 2000, for 1st Town 8th Marines, come see me. I'm gonna rip you up. No, I'm gonna bang you. I'm gonna break that motherfucker up, man. Anyway, he says no drinking, dude. That's not 800 Marines. You're like, oh yeah, oh yes sir.
Yeah, someone's doing it.
4 weeks. No, someone.
Yeah.
The whole fucking battalion, bro. So we all broke out, and I'm in my room like I'm supposed to be. And so in Okinawa, because they dropped that guy on his head and he died, and it's terrible, they gave you tickets. So 1 Marine, 1 ticket, 1 6-pack. That's it. But dude, you can find 50 priests. I don't drink. Give me your ticket. Give me your ticket. Give me your ticket.
Right.
And just go down and get the beer. And so everybody's fucking wasted. Even the sergeants, the guys that are. I was a Lance Corporal. Lance Corporals are the backbone of the Marine. They're the guys that have the small unit leaders, very small unit leaders, like fire teams, right?
Yeah.
These guys don't have squads. Fire teams, 4 guys.
Right.
But that's what makes the Marine Corps beautiful. But anyway, this fucking dude, the rooms were conjoined. Like if this was my room, there'd be a bed here, and the bathroom was between us. And there'd be another room. And I was friends with these guys. Now, keep in mind, there was a recruit dump. So there was like 60% new Marines. This was our first deployment, and maybe 40. It could be 70% new Marines, and only 30% were these short timers, the guys with the faded camis,
Yeah.
and because they've been in, they're salty, and by the time we rotate back to the States, they're going to get out of the Marine Corps. So it was kind of like us against them a little bit, but for the assholes. But there were a lot of really good Marines that were training us that wanted to make sure the continuation of force in readiness went on. But this asshole, these guys were all going out in town. I didn't want to go out in town. I was just going to hang out on Camp Schwab because why not? You could go down to the beach, whatever. And I was like, hey man, I already fucking crushed my limit on beers. And my roommate, or right on across the way, his name was Delage. He's like, hey, Lejour, you can have. He's like, dude, I got like 12 beers. You can have them. So I go to get him, and this guy named Martinez is like, don't you touch those fucking beers, Lejour. Don't you touch those fucking beers. And I'm like, well, they're not yours. And Delage just said I could have them. So I take him over to my room. I'm like, hey, why don't you calm down? I gave him like 2 or 3 ice cold beers, and still not enough. So he comes in, and now this dude. So by the way, I want to tell you, Martinez he's a good dude, but he's about 130 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And at that time, I'm 6'2", 180, and so he comes in. I put him in a guillotine, right? And he's like, and I push him out in the hallway because in Okinawa the rooms are indoor, not like where in Camp Lejeune where the rooms face out, like your door opens up to the outside.
Right. That's how ours were.
Yeah. So these were indoor. Pushed him out, and then my buddy comes over. He's like, man, yeah, you fucked him up. But I'm not trying to hear that. I'm like, no, stop.
Yeah.
I didn't fuck anybody up, man. because I know what happens.
Yeah,
now it's going to spread around.
Fight.
No, it's going to spread around and be like, oh, you fucked me up? Well, that's exactly what happened. So now this guy wants to come back for some more. Right. I fucking tie him up again and get rid of him in the room. Get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. I wrestled all through high school, varsity, from freshman. That doesn't make me a super champ, but I have an idea how to handle myself. Yeah. Not to mention all the training in the Marines. I don't give a shit if this guy's only got 6 months left in the Corps.
Right.
And he served 1 tour in Sierra Leone. I don't give a shit, man. Although Sierra Leone was a mess. But anyway, so all of a sudden I get rid of him. I think it's over. So I kick back in my room, and here comes a guy named Sergeant fucking Davis. Sergeant fucking Davis from New Jersey. Here's how I talk. Listen up, fucking Marines, fucking this and fucking that. Hey, listen. Hey, killer. You fucking shaved this fucking morning? You better get your don't even fucking say a fucking word. Get your fucking ass up there and fucking shave right now, killer. That happened to me. This guy was an asshole. So he comes by and he's like, hey, Lejour, guess what? What, Sergeant? You're fucking going outside and fucking fighting fucking Martinez right fucking now. That's what he did. So I'm like, hoorah. Now I'm like nervous. Even though this guy's a fucking joke, I'm like, well, now it's like a thing. And dude, the barracks just empties out. Yeah. And there's hundreds of Marines out there just to see me beat this skinny fucker up. And he comes at me, and I even let him punch me. And he hit me right here, and I was just like, oh, shit. When I felt the strength of the hit, I was like, oh, buddy. And I just went into him. Like, what do you think I would do?
Yeah.
I went into him, and I just went, and then I got on top of him, and I was like, are you ready? And I just UFC'd his ass, right? Kung, 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 kung. And I saw the look on his face was like he was trying to fight me and stuff. I'm like, get the... And then I went black. And next thing I know, I wake up to all I see is the gold leaf, a major, and it's dark out. And I'm in the fucking battalion aid station. I'm like, wake up. And he's like, how many beers did you drink, Marine? And I was like, what? Oh, I taste this blood, man. I'm like, choking. And he's like, how many? Jesus Christ, he doesn't even know how many beers he drank. I'm like, what do you fucking count, sir? First of all, I don't even know where I'm at. Fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
Goddamn fucking dipshit lieutenants and fucking even up to major. Fuck you. Fuck you. Stupid piece of shit. You don't even know what happened. And I was just like, I don't know. He's like, God damn it. Nobody's supposed to be drinking. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't notice 300 fucking wasted Marines. It's on me now. All right, so now I'm like, I don't know. I'm so out of it. Apparently, they carry me back to my room, which I'm on the 3rd floor in Okinawa, Camp Schwab. And I wake up, I hear, they still do that. They still do the trumpet. Of course, it's, recorded. And I went, oh. So I fell asleep. My fucking face was stuck to the pillow from blood and scab because this fucker split me, dude.
Yeah.
Not the guy I was beating up, by the way. I'll tell you that. I woke up to my roommate, the famous Gary Kreider, just sitting there like that, looking at me. How would you feel? I was like, what's up, man? And he's like, how you? I was like, is it really Monday? I thought we were off. I was convinced. So I was shocked when I heard. I hate it. But nothing's worse than a Navy reveille. It just doesn't stop. 15 minutes. At least at least it's over.
Right.
In like 45 seconds. Not the Navy. They just keep going. And I'm like, God, if he doesn't shut up, I'm going to go up to the fucking deck and kill that sailor. Anyway, so I wait. Sorry. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like shit. And my buddy's like, yeah, you're going to have to go see the gunny, man. This is big. I was like, what do you mean it's big? Here's what happened. I went outside. I kicked that dude's ass. And the short time and motherfucker, like short time and meaning, once we got back from Okinawa, he was out.
Yeah.
And he was a corporal, but he was never going to get anything above corporal because he was convicted of some crime earlier on. Piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so what happened was this guy started the fight. I ended the fight. Well, he runs up. He's on duty, and he punt kicks me in the face. I didn't know that because it knocked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then apparently I was laying on my back, and there was so much blood that I was like, I'm choking on my blood.
Right.
And this is my roommate telling me this because I was like, I got my ass kicked. Why didn't you help me? He was so mad, dude. He goes, you stupid motherfucker. You think I just sat there watching you choke on your own blood? I was like, I was choking on my own blood? I was like, I didn't know that. And he's like, dude, this is what happened. So Forney, big dude from Boston, he was my watchdog, man. This guy, I saved his ass in Chow back in School of Infantry, and he never left my side. Big cat from Boston. And he would just be like, what? He's a Southie. He'd be like, it didn't matter what happened. He just fought. He grabs me once I'm fighting this guy, and he goes, Lejeune, that's enough. And as soon as he grabbed me, my arms were like this, I got punt kicked.
Yeah.
And so he goes, what the fuck? And he starts fucking beating the shit out of that guy. And then beating the shit out. And then all of 1-8 came out. Dude, mop sticks got broken. And it was the new guys versus the old guys and a lot of blood. I mean, it was a huge fight. And I'm just like, well, I didn't.
You were sleeping through it all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was knocked the fuck out. But the other thing is, that's not what I wanted. It's not what I asked for. So the next day I go down there and I see this guy named Gunny Ramalia. He was a Gunny Ramalia, 1st Chinese Marines and weapons company. We were in Okinawa, and he saw me. My face is jacked. Yeah, I'm split. Yeah. I'm like, hey. And even some of the older guys, like Dudley and them, they came down. They were like, hey, man, I heard what happened. That's fucking bullshit, man. But the guy that I was beating up, he came and he begged my forgiveness. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That was my fight. Yeah. I don't know why he did that to you. He was a fucking black dude named Murphy. Piece of shit. So I go down to see of course, now I got to go down and see Gunny. And Gunny Ramalia, he's just like, that's fucked up what happened. But it's out of my hands now because it went to battalion level. But at that level, I'm 21. my first year in the Marines. I have no idea what that means. I'm like, okay. But what he's saying is like, you're in big trouble. I didn't know that. Okay. So now I got to go see the captain, Captain Faust, Force Recon captain. He looked like Ichabod Crane. You ever seen that fucking guy? Eating salads and shit. But the fucker could run for 90 miles and never stop.
Yep.
And he was just like, hey, I just came back from Korea. It's hump 15 miles a day through the mountains or die. So that's what we're going to do. And I was just like, awesome. So I go see him, and this is what he says to me. He goes, so this Marine tried to fight you, and I said, yes, sir. And he goes, and you went outside and you fought the Marine, you beat the Marine, but once you had him down, you continued to beat that Marine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, sir. I'm proud because that's what they teach you to do.
Yeah.
And they keep going, and next, once you get him down, you're going to give him that awesome stomp. You got to stomp right in their fucking neck. That's what they teach you. Yeah. And I don't give a shit. People say, oh, what is it? What's that famous Marine Corps movie with R. Lee when he's like, you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. It's worse than that, man, because that's only one drill instructor. There's like 5.
Yeah.
And they're all running around tearing you apart, making you confused, making your world hell. And so that's kind of the way it was. And I'm sorry, where did I leave off? They're getting my fucking
You're getting a question about why you hit him.
So that's the thing. Yes, blood. The word base of grass grow. Man, we were more violent than that. We did push-ups at intensity, violence. That's how we did push-ups.
Yeah.
Intensity, violence. That you think I'm kidding? I swear to God, bro. And so I was proud. That's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to kick this motherfucker's ass. Sergeant Davis told me to kick that motherfucker's ass, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so, and right, he cuts me off, and I said, yes, sir. And he goes, Jesus Christ, you're Lance Corporal, first year in the Marines. You're going to see the battalion commander, which means I'm up for NJP, not just punishment. It means I'm in big fucking trouble. I can go, and I'm like, I don't know what this means. So then I called my dad. He was in the Navy. And he goes, yeah, you should probably get a lawyer. I'm like, I don't know, man. Because every time some fucker gets a lawyer in the enlisted Marine Corps, they go, what are you, a fucking sea lawyer? You want to be a fucking sea lawyer, faggot? And they're literally like, this fucking fag shit. You fucking stand up like a man and take your shit.
Hold on a second. I want to make sure you're still in the video.
Oh, did it move?
Well, you're sliding out. You got to come in a little bit. Hold on. Yeah. I just noticed you're a bit off.
He's like, that's fucking fag shit. So I was like, I don't know what to do. So, but I'm like, okay, well, I don't care. But it turns out I'm not going directly to see battalion commander. It's like next week. So, but then until then, I'm on restricted duty. Right? So I stay in my room or whatever, or just stay around the battalion area. And then I got to go see battalion commander. So then Sergeant Davis, the same guy, says, that's it, fucking LeJour, going out fucking fighting fucking Martinez, right? He comes to me, he's like, hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'd fucking give him shit.
No, I didn't know any better at the time. I was a fucking noob. And he goes, yeah, that's my wife, it's my kids. Yeah, I'm going to go back there. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. I had no idea, buddy. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, this guy is scared.
Yeah.
But it was too late. Like by then, they were like, I already said, no, I just got fucked up, I guess, and got in a fight.
Yeah.
But then I realized that if I just would have said, Sergeant Davis told me to do it, it'd be like, I would probably be exonerated. But that didn't seem quite fair to me, realistically, like in my soul, right? Well, here's the thing. I never would have done it if he didn't come out there and say I had to do it. But it was too late. Like, I didn't say anything.
No, it's 100% on him.
Yeah.
100%.
Because you don't do it as sergeants. I was a Lance Corporal, man.
Yeah.
You understand, that's that's not even a non-commissioned officer. I was nothing.
Right.
Nothing. And
I would have buried the fucking guy.
Well, I didn't know any better.
Because he would have been the one that was gone.
So here's what happened. Now I got to go see the battalion commander. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know. My dad's like, get a lawyer. So then my my other boss, there's 90 bosses, Staff Sergeant Pissed Off Christoph. I'll show you his picture later. The guy's a fucking maniac, maniacal Marine. Like, he's the one that I took, like, when the guys came to deliver the dishwasher, I answered the door and went, "Morning, men! Raw!" That's how he answered. That's every morning. He's like, "Morning, Marines!" And he always had this stupid smirk on his face, like, "Raw! Fucking hell yeah, bunch of killers. Raw! All I drink is coffee. All day, every day. Chop cock off with E-Tool. Kick ass and drink more coffee." I mean, he's a lifer. So he goes, now they go and I see the Sergeant Major and they're like, do you want a lawyer? And I already said no, but now I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And my fucking section leader, which is fucking asshole Christoph, he goes, like, visibly breaks bearing. And I'm like, if I did that, I'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
Then he took me outside. He's like, "You ever fucking blindside me like that again?" Keep in mind, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Blindside you with what? I'm getting my career ruined, and I think I should talk to a lawyer?
Yeah.
I think it's only fair. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm sorry. So you know what I did? I went in there. I was like, yeah, all right, and I fucking did it. So then I went and I had to see the battalion commander, and this is the best fucking part. This is what ruined everything. This is why I didn't re-enlist in the Marine Corps. This is why it's all bullshit. I walked in there. You can't tell me that motherfucker doesn't have intel on everything that went on.
Mm-hmm.
But I go in there and this fucking nerd, this 130-pound wet fucking noodle of a piece of shit. He looked like he dripped out of an anus. This fucking guy. He's like, glasses and shit, sitting there with his fucking silver leaf, and he's like, "You see any reason why I shouldn't give you the full punishment?" And and I'm just, what are you going to say to that? "Well, actually, I have a few reasons, sir." It's just not going to happen. Yeah. Sergeant Major saying he's 6'9", black Ghanaian fucking warrior is just going to go, and I'm like, "No, sir." And you know what he said? He goes, "Good, because I'm giving it to you." It was really like Droopy from the old cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. 45 days no pay, 45 days extra duty. And so, not so that, but it's not the way it actually sounds. It was actually 3 months.
Yeah.
It's just, and what they mean is by pay period.
Right.
The way the military works. So the last 3 months, it was just hell. But it actually turned out good for me, but not my career, because I never did rat out Sergeant Davis. I was just like, well, it's too late now. What's the fucking point? Right. Now it'll just seem desperate.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys, I was surprised at how many dudes wrote anonymous letters and slid them under the door. And they came to me and they were like, "Did this shit happen?" I'm like, "I don't know." And they looked at me and they're like, "You're going to make it a long ways." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Because what? This is like the mafioso shit.
Right. Yeah.
They literally treat me like that. They were like,
yeah.
All these staff NCOs, like, yeah. Took it like a man.
Yeah, while you're getting shit on.
It builds character. Yeah, well, I'm not getting any money.
Right.
I can't even buy, I mean, yeah, you got 3 hots and a cot, but it's not like that, dude. You still need shit. You still need, like, fabric softener or fucking, you still have shit you got to do. Yeah. But on top of that, so then they busted me down to PFC, which I had just gotten Lance Corporal a couple months before, and I was about to pick up Corporal, which is a big deal in the Marine Corps, more so than in the Army, because the Marine Corps is much smaller. Mm-hmm. So an NCO, non-commissioned officer, you get your blood stripe, and dude, that's it. You're on your way to professionalism, Then it's corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, gunny. And there were times that even out in the field in jungle warfare training, because we went twice, he's like, "Did you write any letters, LeJour?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't write any letters, and I don't give a fuck." At this point, because I got so good at being in trouble, like because I had extra duty. So what I had to do was I had to go down and I sent you a picture of it. The every day I had to get signed off.
Yeah.
So every 2 hours I had to go see the duty officer, let him know I was still in uniform and I was still here.
Yeah.
The other guys going off base and getting drunk and whatever, seeing the snake lady, which I wasn't that thrilled with anyway. But they. The main thing was the second time we went to jungle warfare training. Here's where it hit the fucking shit. So the second time we went to jungle warfare training, was like a higher elevation, so we were doing a lot more rappelling and shit. There's some Navy SEALs there showing us how to do like the frontward shit.
Yeah.
How to go down facing forward.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, these cats were pretty cool too. Like Navy SEALs, they didn't care. They had like the handlebar mustaches and shit at the time, and sleeve tattoos. But they were cool as fuck, I thought. Some guys were all like, "Oh, it doesn't take that much to be a Navy SEAL." I'm like, "Well, then fucking do it." I didn't give a shit after that. After I got busted, I was dude Colonel. They were like, "What are you doing, LeJour?" I'm like, "Nothing." And they're like, "Should you be doing something?" I'm like, "I don't know, sir. Should I?" Right? Fuck you. But I still had my shit pressed, boots polished every day, and they sent my ass down to the company office, and all I did was answer. First Town 8th Marines, Weapons Company. Yeah, talk to Lieutenant Gerard. Yeah, here you go. Fuck you. And so what do you think happens when you get in that kind of trouble? I got close to these guys.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to be, and then they sent me to Alcohol Treatment Facility, ATF, which was in Okinawa. And that was an easy piece of duty, man. It was like 6 weeks. You had to wear civilian clothes. All I did was swim, go to the gym, and sit around in group with some guys that, man, they couldn't hack it. They were like, no drinking and shit like that. Like, why'd you get in trouble? He's like, oh, I gave this guy this signal and flicked off the MPs, and I got shot twice. And, I still beat him up, though. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't belong here, right? So I got through that, which was pretty cool. And but my point is, so I was the only PFC. So we go to jungle warfare for the second time, and it's been 3 weeks in the fucking mud. And Gunny Ramali, he's like, so keep in mind, did you know that the Marine Corps, anytime you eat chow as a company or a battalion, it's always lowest ranking guy and highest ranking guys always eat last. Marine Corps tradition. Troops eat first. But I'm the only PFC on the island, all of Okinawa. So I'm like sitting there holding a goddamn saw, right, M249, and I know they're flying in chow, and I'm just gonna let the helicopter land and let everybody eat, man. I don't give a shit, dude. I'm not gonna go wait in a mile long.
Yeah.
A mile, wow,
Long
line, nailed it. I did, whatever. But all of a sudden they're like, LeJour, where the fuck is LeJour? And I'm like, God, what? And they're like, LeJour, you gotta eat first.
Yeah.
You understand the line? So it's like from here to the next block. Like the line is long.
Yeah.
And I'm full battle rattle with the fucking M249 saw. So they're like, you got to get up front. I'm like, damn it. So I start running. I had made myself these things that said PFC of Marines, because you always see Sergeant of Marines.
Right.
So I said, fuck this. I'm a PFC of Marines. Whatever the fuck that means. So, dude, there's thousands of Marines, because it's not just us. There's another, landing support or whatever they're called. I don't know. Just tons of Marines all waiting for food, and they're all waiting for me. So I start jogging. You can hear all the fucking ammo, all my shit rattling. And I got, bulletproof helmet, all this stuff packed, and I'm running up front, and just one dude's just going, fuck yeah, peas! And then the whole shit erupted. Fucking peas! I don't know what the hell that shit was about. But from then on, bro, life was pretty good. So I went up there, I got my chow, and then I sat with Gunny. I'm always sitting with Gunny.
Yeah.
The guy that got in trouble is, but Gunny knew I got set up, man.
Yeah.
And so we sat there and ate together. He's like, you're going to be just fine. I'm like, I fucking hope so, bro. Because this sucks. So that's why my nickname was Peas, and it never went away. And then first they called it Crusty Peas or Salty Peas, because the time I got back from that deployment, my camis were starting to get faded, from all the ops and everything, and the sun. And then it just stuck, man. But I mean, you couldn't be a new guy and call me Peas. You had to be
right. Because
then I did pick up corporal pretty quickly after that, and it was pretty amazing. It was almost like guys just winked at you. They were like, congratulations. My captain, oh goddamn, what was his name? He was a badass. Captain Cella, Cella. He pinned me, and he goes, "You fuck up on Libo, I'm gonna tear your balls off." Congratulations. Like as he was pinning my corporal.
Right.
You fuck up on Libo, I'm gonna tear your balls off. And so just like there's this dude online called Ryan Macbeth. He's called Libo Risk. I was a Libo Risk Marine, but it was always fun. Like I was never a fighter. I never went out to get in fights. Guys did all the time. One guy would be like, oh. I'm like, what? Why are we slowing me down? He's like, hey, these motherfuckers over here. I was like, dude, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, and then that guy, Tex, he'd get his shit kicked out of him every single time he fought.
Lose all the fights.
Hey, hold on. I need to get beat up here.
We're about to get down.
Yeah, I need to get. Hey, listen, that shit is on you, man. I am sick. Yes, I'll back you up if you're in real trouble. But usually you're just fighting other Marines in a different area. It's a fucking joke. But anyway, so that's how everyone I know to this day still calls me Peas because I was the only PFC. It started out as Crusty Peas, like salty, salty peas, crusty peas. Oh, then we got back. We had inspection. I had one stripe, but I had 3 rows of ribbons. They called me Chesty Peas.
The same guy I was telling you about that.
But you know, these old salt dogs are like, that's the way you do it. That's how you do it. Builds character. I'm like, yeah, it loses money. But anyway, fun stuff.
Yeah. Same guy I was telling you about who punched through the fire extinguisher. He was on Libo, right? A whole deployment. And then I don't know, I think he fucked up again.
Yeah, hydrate.
Where he went the captain's mast. But he had made the 3-year mark like by a fucking day or two.
3-year mark? What's that?
You get your good conduct ribbon.
Oh, it was 2 for us.
If you don't fuck up for 3 years.
I guess I just can't believe Marines get it at 2 years. Like, fucking hey. We call it a good cookie. It's 2 years.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 for the Navy.
It's 2.
So, like, he had gone to captain's mast, like, a couple days after the fucking deadline. So, goes to captain's mast, right? Like, 3 days later, he's getting a medal for good conduct.
Woo! They gave him a medal? Yes. Fucking yes.
Yeah, he was so
That's the kind of
happy.
shit that happened to me. People were like, he's getting promoted?
Yeah. Did he just fuck up? He's like, yes.
I'm always
conduct
like,
for me.
You. I've blown all these guys.
So they didn't hammer him for his first fuck up, but he did something else. I can't remember what it was. We'll have to ask him. That's someone we got to get on the fucking show, I think.
Oh, hell yeah. I got another guy over in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing also that came from that is the extra duty. So they said, you got to go down every fucking night and you have to strip and wax the battalion office. It's like I want to say it was a good, what do you say from here to that house? Like 25 yards, 30 yards?
Yeah, 25 is fair.
So about that long, just this big ass hallway. It was the battalion office, right? Company commander, battalion commander, and the battalion sergeant major.
Yeah.
All their offices and fucking pictures are hanging on the wall and shiny ass floor. So now I go take over and I'm supposed to strip, wax, and buff this motherfucker every night for 45 days. I'm like, okay. So I get down there, you know, everybody else is off drinking beer and I'm going down to the fucking, you know, it's Okinawa with hilly ass island. I go down to the bottom and people are like, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Get down there. And so this guy, this is how he shows me. You just dump this shit on the floor, do that, do that. All right, got it? All right, see ya. So I go down there and I'm like, okay. It's like, dude, you understand, they don't let you go down there until like 1900, 1800. So, probably 2000. It's late, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And everyone's gone. The battalion office is empty. And so I get this fucking thing out of the closet, and it's fucking 300 pounds, dude. And I was in good shape. I was like, Jesus Christ. How is it that heavy? Crushed my foot. God damn it.
Yeah.
And so I plugged this fucking thing in. I'm like, okay. And I guess you lift it up on the things and you put on the brush or the buffer, put the brush on.
Whether you're stripping or buffing.
And then I dumped all the shit that the guy showed me down the hallway, which was all wet, to strip it. And I went, all right, buddy. I squeezed the trigger on that thing, which is here. And it went. And I went, oh, shit. And I let it go. And and it ripped the cord out of the wall, and sparks flew everywhere, and it busted holes every 6 feet in the wall. And I'm standing there, smoke and shit, and this thing's going, and I'm like, I almost cried, man. I was just like, no, I can't, dude. I just got in trouble, and so I'm like, okay, get it together. I go down there and just slowly squeeze. And then, all right, fast forward. 6 weeks later, I'm like one-handed, just spinning it. You get used to it, but god damn it, bro. And then, so the last day, Sergeant Major's doing a walkthrough. Sergeant Major was a piece of shit, cocksucker, motherfucker from hell. And I will bust his ass if I ever see him again. But he's sitting there going, whoa, what are these holes from? I'm like, I don't know.
They were there when I got
here. And that he can't prove shit. And plus, fuck him.
Yeah.
Cocksucker asshole. He's the same guy that when my granddad was dying, all I wanted to do was put my dress blues on and see my granddad for the last time, which is, by the way, a World War II hero. And he was like, well, the Red Cross called. And I'm like, that's all you need. And he's like, well, they said he could live 3 weeks or he could die tomorrow. So he denied me. So what happened? He died 2 days later.
Yeah.
I could have been there. And so fuck that guy. I'll see you in hell.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's why I was peased, and it was just one hell of a story. But yeah, I tore that company office apart, and it was a total accident. But that's what you get when a guy's like, yeah, I ain't bad, man. Just one hand, just do this. So as soon as I fired it up, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, they're a motherfucker. I wasn't too aggressive at the start of mine. I was working. So when I graduated boot camp, I didn't go right to submarine school, which you're fucking supposed to do. You're supposed to have chest x-rays done if you're going on subs. It's part of the, it's part of the, I don't know, it's a part of the special physical. So when you go to the medical, I don't know how I missed it. I had a fucking tooth pulled, and I was SIQ for like 2 or 3 days. They must have fucking gone in that window. It was like day before we graduate, they call my name off and like, you got to go to medical. Like, you need special physicals, chest x-rays. You get your chest x-rays? I'm like, no, like nobody else got fucking chest x-rays. Like, why would I get chest x-rays? Like,
yeah.
New to me, dude. I'm fucking 8 weeks.
Whatever you're going.
They're like, go down and get them. So I go get them. Yeah, I graduate. I don't get to go anywhere because I'm waiting on these to come back.
Oh, you're safe.
So they send me across the street at NTC, Naval Training Center. So you got boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois, and then right across the street is your People's A school and shit for surface fucks, right? So
like School of Infantry for Marines.
Yeah. So I'm over there in this holding division, and it's full of fucking misfits, dude. People who are out of prison in the boot camp.
Oh man, you just don't belong there.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck? The first time I had shit stolen from me, so I had to wake up at 3 a.m.
I was introduced to thievery in the Marine Corps, man.
Exactly. So I wake up at 3:30. I fucking shower and then walk off base across the street back to boot camp for a whole month to do various things like stand watch,
shovel, whatever.
Yeah, whatever
Clean
you put, like stand gate guard duty.
Chow.
And this is, I entered September, so I graduate in November. It's December in fucking Illinois, Chicago. It's like the walk from NTC to boot camp, your hair is frozen. You got ice all over your goddamn face.
Yeah.
Just to go to fucking boot camp to get shit on for an extra month, And so one of the duties was working for the torpedo men or the weaponsmith, gunner's mates was what it is, I guess. So they're the ones who run the shooting range. And so I got to buff that floor like 2 or 3 times, during the middle of the day when they didn't have anyone coming in. And same deal. Like, you guys,
dude, the middle of the day for the military is just a day of rest. Like, no one is around.
Yeah.
Like from, I would say 11 to 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's like, buff the fuck, same deal, like buff fucking floor. Don't let it hit the fucking sides or you're going to get skid marks.
Yeah, no one told me that.
So I start, I'm like, I'm testing it, right? Like,
that's what I tried to do, but this just went crazy.
Right? So I'm like, all right, I kind of got it. I'm like, got to get to the edge. I'm like a foot away from the wall. I'm like, that's going to be noticeable. I got to get a little closer. You get a little closer. I'm like, and I'm off it, right? As soon as I make the first bump, I'm like, fuck. And then fucking black skid marks, right? Like I ended up with like 5 or 6 black skid marks all down the side, and
I had holes in the wall.
Guy comes out to check my work. Like they're in there, like listening to me. You know, hit the fucking wall. You can imagine they're in there all day.
The magic eraser hadn't been invented yet. Like, oh
yeah, you had greenies, so it's like
oh yeah, the pads,
fucking green things.
And then you come in, and you see all the paint scratched off a spot. You're like,
one dude was hysterical. He was like, I'd finished buffing and I'd come by and you're just standing at attention outside the door for whatever he might need you for, like a butler. And then he's like, straighten that flag out. You know, just a U.S. flag sitting in a holder, right? Well, it's like kind of sideways, right? That's how they're fucking supposed to sit. I don't realize that, right? It's just a hole. And then the pole goes like, so he's like, straighten it out. So I'm like,
aye, sir.
I'm like trying to balance
aye, sir.
This fucking flag, like, it stays for a second, and he goes, well, it doesn't go fucking straight. He's fucking with me, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course,
there's no way
man.
to straighten it out.
That's like go get the keys to the Humvee.
Right. So
there are no keys in Humvees.
So I give it a shot 5 or 6 times, and he's just like, I'm like, yes, petty officer.
Petty officer, does this joke ever get old to you? Good time. But all that being said, I actually I had a good time doing it. It kept me out of trouble, man. I got in the best shape of my life. I got ripped.
Yeah.
Because all I did was work out and then go to extra duty. I wasn't allowed to drink. But there were a couple of guys, like even my platoon sergeant, be like, hey, come here. I need to see you. And oh my God, dude. The difference when you're deployed to bases like Okinawa. So like for the troops, like myself, we never call ourselves troops, Marines, weapons company. It was 2-man rooms, but it was basically 4-man rooms because you had one bathroom between the 2 rooms. Because the plan was when they built it, eventually we're going to turn this shit over to the Japanese. It's going to be a hotel.
Yeah.
You know, beautiful beaches, man. But listen, regardless of like the pay and stuff like that, like blue or getting busted down, I was still at a tropical island with crystal blue oceans and everything. So when they sent me over to ATF, not alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, alcohol treatment facility, and they do that to anybody who gets in trouble to cover their ass. That way, if you get out and you got a problem, they'd be like, "Yeah, well, we send them to ATF, so it's not our problem." I found that out later, but it was still fun. And plus, you know, I was in an infantry. I was in 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. Man, there were 0 women anywhere near us. Not even in the battalion area, man. Entire battalion, 0, none. It was all trigger pullers, man. It was nothing but there were no women.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they send me over to this place. I'm supposed to be being punished, and they're like, Lejour. Oh, you're going to be in the MP barracks over here for this alcohol treatment facility. So I go there to check in, and it's some of the hottest chicks I've ever seen in my life, dude. It's all MPs.
Yeah.
Because half the barracks was the MPs, and I was just like, and these chicks are walking around doing their laundry and shit because they live there.
Yeah.
And they're wearing those green PT shorts, and I'm just like, holy shit. And I was getting ripped. And every time I went back, they're like, hey, you want to play volleyball with us? Or stuff? Or we just, it was, these chicks, man. That was fun. And then you go down to the beach, man. They're like, oh, and when you're checking in, dude, I was hardcore 1-8 and checking. Yes, staff sergeant. You know, you're always. And this guy saw me. He's like, "Hey, man, call me Greg." And I'm like, "Okay, staff sergeant." Like that ain't happening.
Right.
And he goes, "No. Listen to me. We need to treat. What's your name?" I'm like, Lejour. He's like, "Your first name." I'm like, Devin. It just sounded weird even saying it. Yeah.
When you go a couple of years without spitting it out. Yeah.
Brian.
my name's Brian, but
no, you gotta wear the helmet.
What's your first name? You have a first name?
No. And I was like, okay, Craig. Like, Craig? Are you saying? He's like, we want to treat the Marine. No. He goes, we want to treat Devin.
Yeah.
Not the Marine. The reason I put the helmet on, too, is because later on in jungle warfare, we were sitting in a fucking foxhole. Me and Gary Kreider. I always bring up Kreider. We got to get him on, dude. That's the funniest fucking country boy you'll ever meet. Smart as shit too. But he goes like this. We're sitting in a hole 8, 9, 12 hours. You know, we're on Fort Bragg. And I'm sitting behind the machine gun. And if you have the strap on, you can fucking rest the top of your helmet on the sight and go, go to sleep on the machine gun. Dude, we're on an army base. Pretty sure we're not getting attacked. Right. I don't give a fuck. And, you know, people come around and hear the footsteps. I'm like, yeah. One guy came around and was like, Lieutenant Johnson. He would slap you on the back so hard that at first I'd be like, I'm going to fuck. Oh, hey, sir. Hoorah. Like, whoever just hit me is about to die. Hey, sir. And he was like, that's hardcore. You've been in the sight for like 3 hours. So you can't believe I was looking downrange. But all right, whatever.
No way. They got to know.
Maybe he was being funny or whatever. But anyway, we're sitting in this hole on Fort Bragg, fighting the Army Rangers, little fake war. Ever. What I love about Fort Bragg is, for some reason, I don't know what maybe it's their SOP or whatever, but all the helos and shit, like we use CH-53s and CH-46s. You know about the land on ships and all that shit. Big fucking Iron Horse. But they use Blackhawks. And cool helicopter, man. It goes, they do treetop level. I love it. And plus we'd watch them jump, you know. We're in the woods and we watch them jump. And then that was cool. I got a lot of respect for the Army. Believe me, man, those cats know what they're doing. You would see them jump in, and we were doing our fake war or whatever. I had a ghillie suit at the time with a big mosquito net, and I was watching these dudes walk by on the trail. And, bro, that was some professional ass shit. There was zero noise. And you're talking about 60 guys walking on two sides of this road, staggered column, perfect, using hand signals. I'm looking at them, and one guy saw me, and he went, shit. And then, you know what he did? He in his fucking pocket and threw me a brownie. Like, he goes, I know they don't feed you, motherfucker. And I thought that was cool. And then, so they walked by, and then I heard a truck coming down the road. These fuckers from the 82nd Airborne, they melted. They disappeared. That was some badass shit. I was like, well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Let's see you do that in the water. Wherever you are, come out. But anyway, so I'm sitting in this fucking foxhole in an A-10 Warthog, one of my favorite airplanes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With the long wings.
Yeah.
You know, it's a air-to-ground killer. Comes tearing ass over us. And, dude, like, Kreider's got one leg up in the fucking fox. Dude, we've been there for days. Not hours. Days. Just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Baking in the heat, getting eaten by ants and mosquitoes. And we're sitting there, and it's the reason I'm wearing the helmet, so you got to see this. I looked up, and I was like, it's an A-10 Warthog. And when I looked at Kreider, he was like this. So just imagine, if you look away, he was like this. And he goes, what? First of all, shut your fucking mouth. It's a wolf hog. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, you're an idiot. It's a fucking wolf hog. I designed it. I'm like, okay. This is how bored we are. And I was like, well, it didn't say wolf hog on it. And he goes, oh my God. Of course it didn't say wolf hog on it. Because then if people saw that, they would run away before it could drop bombs on them.
Dude, I did something similar.
but you gotta understand, I'm just like, I'm looking up at this plane, and I'm like, hey. And then I slowly look over at him, and he's just going, shut your fucking mouth, idiot. And he would do shit like that all the time. It was so fucking funny. He's like, first of all, shut your mouth. That's my favorite part about the Marines.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Yes, Staff Sergeant. Shut your fucking mouth. That's our. A lot of fun. But if you're not, god damn, you hear that fucking that's a heavy bitch. But you do kind of miss those weird nuances, you know?
Yeah.
Sit in a fighting hole with a dude for not 3 hours, 3 days.
Me and this other guy.
Days! I don't think people understand that. That means day and night.
Yeah.
Just fucking dying. Oh, how about waiting on the beach? Nowhere to hide, motherfucker. You're supposed to... Go ahead and hide in the marsh, because that's where the mosquito hawks are. Fucking, these things like lift your arm up while you're asleep, dude. They came out with, instead of the shelter halves, those old World War II looking tents.
Yeah.
We had those, bro. Like, you would carry half and I would carry half. It's like this heavy material. Finally, they got rid of that shit and they made these pop-up tents. So we're like, this is amazing, right? Funk, you put these things up, and I was in there, and they're 2-man tents. And so you always have to sleep with the other Marine's feet here, so that way you're not, breathing in each other's face. And woke up, and I was just, man, I happened to be with this dude that insisted not only on wearing whitey tighties, but that's what he slept in. I just slept in my camis. I was like, fuck it. Yeah. We're in the field.
Right.
No, sir. He's got to get down to the whitey tighties?
Take your pants off.
Marines wear boxers. Whitey tighties. And he wakes up, he's like, ugh, he's from Boston. Hey, sure. And he's like, oh, I got eaten up. We're in the tent. And I looked over, and the fattest mosquito I ever saw, it's trying to get out the screen. It's like, but it's so weighted down with his blood, it can't make it. And I flicked it and just splattered blood all over the screen. He's like, legit. That's how he talked. Hey, legit. God bless him. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
He died. But
yeah, that accent. That's the first time you hear the accent is in the military. Well, unless you go up and visit.
Never more. You'll see more eclectic group of people.
First time I heard it was there. It was this guy, what was it? Farvia or Farva?
Oh, there was a guy like that too. Yeah, Favre.
Yeah.
Not Brett Favre.
He was a mouth. Like he ran his mouth day one and nonstop. And then this other.
No, he was from Boston. And he ran his mouth.
And this other guy who was also going subs. He didn't talk to these people, but God, like 4 weeks in, he finally said something. I was like, "Oh, you're one of them too." You got the same voice, same accent.
What? And was he a fighter? Was he like a Southie?
The dude that was a mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you're talking about.
Not talk about,
slapping
but
people around.
You might just all suddenly get hit.
It was boot camp, so everyone was like minding their manners for the most part.
I just love telling stories, man. When I was in boot camp, the guy next to me, so I just remember stuff. I remember my kindergarten teacher, but my bunkmate was this dude. Actually, I was on top bunk, but in lower bunk was Brooks, and he had a twin brother in that platoon, the other Brooks, right across the aisle from us. And next to me was this dude from West Virginia. And then Foster was next to him, and I still remember that. This is from 1997, and he goes, you understand? Some of these cats, they're just like you, and some of them are totally different, and some of them never had running fucking water.
Yeah.
Until they get to boot camp.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one of these guys I know he died in jungle warfare training, drowned in a river in Okinawa. Foster. And that was a real loss, man, because I was on fire watch with that guy one night, and you're trying to like think of things to say to somebody that's like 15 levels below your cerebral capability, because he's like, I'm like, is this guy a fish, man? What? He's like, so we're on fire watch, and I was like, so man, like, what's your favorite food? I'm trying to think of something, right?
Yeah.
Because you're always hungry in boot camp. And he goes, the best food stew beef and potatoes. And I swear to fucking God, I was just like, bro, we eat that shit every other day here.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
No,
that's what I'm talking about, right? No,
his reaction was like, you ain't ever had stew beef and potatoes. The way my mama. And I fell in love with the guy, man. Black dude from had to be the deepest depths of Alabama somewhere.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. I love the guy. Never complained. Never fell out of any runs. He did everything right. But when you talk to him, it was a treasure trove of wonderful life. And that the way he looked at me, like I never heard anybody that made stew. He's like, boy, you ain't ever had no stewed beef and potatoes unless you had my mama's stewed beef and potatoes. And I believed him. And I was like, you know what, man? I'd love, maybe we get out of here. I'll go have stewed beef and potatoes at your place. He's like, hell yeah, blah, blah. And then I just couldn't believe it, man. He actually drowned. He, you know, God bless him. He fucking died, man. Yeah. He died, but in training.
Yeah.
He didn't die in Iraq. He didn't die he died in the river in jungle warfare. And all I can think about is, man, I'm a hell of a swimmer. I was an SW1 rescue swimmer. I would have got his ass.
Yeah.
Where was everybody? There was a big investigation, but I guess it was just some crazy shit, man. I mean, Marine Corps training is fucking dangerous. People die. And I always thought I'd die in a helicopter crash, 100%. But to drown?
Yeah.
That blew me away.
I think too many ways to die on the sub. I mean,
there's nothing but ways to die in a sub.
You're going down everyone else's too.
Mostly,
like,
it's dying.
It's
less of a thing is living. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you learn right away how to sink the fucking ship. Like, it's not like that's privileged information. You're like, that's the, there's multiple. Yeah. That's the 3-inch launcher. Like,
I was always curious about that, how they train on subs, so like the big leaks and shit. I mean, dude, you're toast.
Big leaks, you fucking haul out to the surface as fast as you can.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, then you're toast, man. They'll blow you away.
There's criteria on when you do the, the cinematic, like blasting out of the ocean. So
that's go without me.
That's an emergency procedure.
Oh, you mean the big when they come out?
Yeah. They come out like a dolphin.
Yeah, some asshat did that, remember? And people were like just fishing, and they're like, hey, some bubbles are coming up. Didn't they kill a few people?
So that was the Greenville, and it wasn't fishing. It's one of those big ones where they're trawling a net or whatever. But no,
I know what you mean. It was a what do you call it? Like a charter.
Yeah, it was a fishing boat. You were right, but it's big ass fishing boat. Yeah. So when you run that procedure, when you run that drill, you're supposed to come to periscope depth, which is about 50 to 55 feet. You scope up, right? You look around, make sure there's nothing there, and then you all the way back down to 700, and then you hit the emergency blow, you hit the chicken switches, and you come up at a 20-degree angle, right? If you're driving, is what I did for the first couple of years. Like, you pull up on the 6, hit yourself at 20 degrees, and then you make sure you don't go any steeper at 20 degrees.
Wait, drive?
You make the submarine 20 degrees colder, right? Because colder things, like an ice cube, right? Ice cubes float at the top. Yeah,
I thought it was all about air.
So you freeze the submarine to 20 degrees, and then that makes it float, right? And then
shit, yeah. Are you serious? Or are you fucking with
No,
me?
I'm fucking with you.
Don't be an asshole. What are you gonna do now? Give me a fucking crayon?
Yeah, the white stuff. Yeah, the white stuff.
You blow some nitrogen or something like that? I don't know. Got real cold.
No, so you pull a 20-degree up angle, right? So and then
just like in my girl.
And because if you go too much, the fucking bubbles will come out of the bottom, and then you're not going anywhere. You just sink back down. So
yeah, because there's no buoyancy.
Yeah, you ever play with a cup in the bathtub? You're a kid.
A lot.
Right? So you
go, a lot.
You let the air out.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
So you come up, right, and then you blast out. The thing they don't tell you is the submarine's fucking heavy as shit. You sink right the fuck back down where you came from.
They're very heavy.
So you hit them once
in this house,
and then you land, and you'll sink back down. Yeah, you sink back down to 150. So
150 fucking feet.
Yeah, you start at 700, and you'll sink right back down to 150. So they actually, if it's a real emergency, they'll hit it again.
If there's a person around there, you're done.
Yeah, they'll hit it again just to stop you from descending and come back up. But that's what they did. This guy didn't do his procedural check to make sure there's nothing up there. They
Boom.
just check baffles, which is you have a sonar array that drags behind the boat, right? And it's shooting out both sides. So if you want to see what's in front of you, you got to turn a little bit. And then you can turn back the other way, and that gives you your 360. So they did that, but it didn't catch a fucking fishing boat that was right on top of them. And so they fucking cracked the middle of this boat. A couple
Killed
guys
everybody.
died on that, right? And those guys.
So the Navy got some kills.
That boat was.
They were U.S. kills.
That boat was cursed with just mishaps, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, if you got to the Greenville, you're like, fuck me. Because, like, shit's going to go down. It's just, no matter, like, year after year.
I didn't know that.
Blowing sanitaries inboard on a regular basis, like, constantly fucking that up.
Who were sanitaries?
So when...
Why'd you guys have to blow them?
So when you shit on a submarine, it goes into a tank.
I get it.
And then the normal procedure to get rid of that is to pressurize it and just blast it out the side like a super soaker. If you've had a super soaker.
Yep, settle down.
Poo gun, right? And, well, if you leave one of the valves that lead inboard, say to a shitter or the fucking sink in the galley, and then you pressurize it, all that shit comes to the inside instead of going outside. That happens apparently a lot on that boat.
Oh my God.
Just imagine the galley where you make your food just layered with shit everywhere, you know? And then you're like, fuck me, you know?
Dude,
it's like,
crack the fucking opening on a, what do they call it? A septic? Like a septic tank?
Yeah.
Just barely crack it. You'd be like,
yeah. That's
so imagine that.
That's how it smells all the time.
I used to be, when I was on the ship in the Portland, I would look over the edge and you'd see that particles floating off in the ocean because they grind up all that cardboard and food.
Yeah, all the fish love that shit. The fish go crazy for the poo. You wouldn't think so.
No, I watch them.
Put some poo in there, those fish are all about it.
Yeah. That's why when they sink that net down, they're like, hey, everybody can go swimming. You look down there. By the way, that net is as big as my house. Everything with ships is so fucking huge. Yeah. But it's beautiful, man. It's unbelievable. Big net goes down the water, and you can't understand how clear ocean water is until something goes down in there that's only like maybe 20 feet deep, right? But then below that, it's like dark blue.
Yeah.
Dark blue. And you're like, fuck that. What's down there, bro?
Yeah.
What's down there?
It's spooky.
Yeah. Spooky's. I jumped in, right? And then I'm like, I'm out.
When you start thinking about it, it's fun to me.
When you look
on the surface and your friends are there. And
you're like, hang on, let me get my goggles.
Yeah.
I look
down.
Still can't see anything. You might see something go. You're like, yeah, that's all I needed.
It's the same feeling I imagine you would have if you were in orbit around the fucking ocean. Or the world, rather. I mean, like, where you can see the earth, and you're like, fuck. Like,
one thing goes wrong.
Your brain just calculates, I'm up high. You're not going to fall because you're in orbit, but you're like, I'm way too high to survive.
I just feel like
get the same feeling.
There's a moment that you go into panic, and then you got to rein yourself back in.
Yeah, you got to switch that off.
That's like, dude, on those 16-hour flights in the military, you're like, I can't take it. I'm in a metal tube at 40,000 fucking feet, and then all of a sudden, I'll tell you what works, man. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. It'll solve them. And then also this. Once you take your biggest breath, I swear to God, anybody that we're lucky enough to be seeing this, but take that extra, like at the end.
When you have
that's a proven scientific fact that your anxiety will drop.
Yeah.
And you make better decisions. You're more likely to survive situation. Blah blah blah.
We had a reactor scrams, which are basically a church.
That's always scary, bro, because then you're dealing with fucking radiation.
Well, it's scram. It just means it just fucking turns off. So it's doing its.
Oh, they have like what's the backup for that? Batteries or something?
Well, we have the diesel. Well, we have battery.
You have diesel fuel on board.
Yeah, it's actually part of the shielding so that you don't get eaten up by the radiation. Of course, that's only going to work if you got air. So you're right. We do have a battery. It's not like it ain't meant to run it for very long. So you rig for reduced electrical, you got a couple hours tops on that fucking battery.
Yeah.
To get the reactor going again. I remember driving God, I think we were at like 700, 600 feet, and the reactor scrams. And so the thing you do right away, the chief of the watch, who basically controls all the ballast in the ship, right? Where we're going to move water, how do we make ourselves floaty? He starts shifting water around. The idea is to make yourself not super light where we're fucking coming up, but we can't be dropping out. We can't be too deep.
You just need to get buoyant somewhere at some point.
Just like a plane. If you overload it,
gotcha.
You're kind of pulling up most of the trip.
I'm trying to explain to my daughters how air works over wings. I'm like, just get in the pool.
Yeah.
And just
yeah. So he starts trimming us out like
at low speed.
Perfect. So that I don't have to fucking do shit if you're on the outboard. I'm controlling the stern planes, which controls the angle. So but that only lasts for so long. Eventually you're gonna start dropping. You can only hover for so long in that. It's
hover. Does that take energy?
It's just
I would imagine so.
It's like it's not positive buoyancy, it's fucking neutral buoyancy. So you're not sinking, but you're not floating. You're just chilling right in the middle. But that's not, I mean, we're not an animal. You can't really do that, you know? So you're still metal.
That's not the most boring sub.
Right. So eventually you slowly start ticking away and you see it. You're driving and you're looking at the depth gauge and it's just like every 5 seconds, another foot. Every 5 seconds, another foot. And so it took us a while to get the reactor going. And so you're checking back in. It's like, guys, we dropped another 300 feet. We're closing in on 1,000 feet here, you know.
What's crush depth?
Crush depth is rated at 2,000, right? so we're half of that, you know, so which they call test.
If I got to 1,000 feet, it'd be like, hey, we're good, right?
Test depth is 1,000, right?
So, Captain, I got a question.
So we're at that, and the deeper you go,
is there an escape way? No. I think that's a lie.
There is, and it's a lie. That's the answer.
You're going to die anyway.
So, we got an escape trunk, but if
you try to use it, you'll die as well.
There's a mathematical equation to how effectively and efficiently you can use the fucking thing.
Whoa. Back up.
Anything beyond, anything
at whoa. Did you say math equation?
Anything at 600 or deeper, it ain't working, right?
I can figure it out.
It's to make you feel, if you're in the Persian Gulf, it's all 150 feet, we could all escape, right? 600 and below, no one's getting out of that. First of all, whoever goes in there.
I think people are so full of shit, man. If I go down to 14 to 15, I went to dive. So in the Marines, I think the deepest you go is maybe 40 feet. Mm-hmm. Not even that. I think it's 30 feet, 35 feet as far as diving.
Yeah.
Maybe. And man, you feel that.
Yeah.
It hurts. And but once you clear, you get used to it for a little while.
Yeah.
But then when you come back up, you're like, right?
Yeah.
But you were telling me a funny ass story. We went and did a tour of a sub for readiness. They were like, my platoon. They were like, all right, you're gonna get on this sub. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm gonna tell you about that little berthing area we went to. All right, so you're down there, crushed.
Oh, you want me? All right, so
yes, I would like you to continue.
Yeah. So the deeper you go, the quicker you sink, right? All the sea pressure, all of that, it just starts to compound, and what you saw happening early on,
denser.
It's happening faster and faster and faster until you're dropping and it ain't working. And even if you do emergency blow, that 4,500 pound air that is supposed to rapidly raise you only comes out so fast. The more pressure, the slower the fucking air comes out.
I thought emergency blow was you're gonna get pulled over by the cops, so you better do a line.
So you can get to a depth where that shit ain't working. Yeah, at 1,500, if you hit those switches, there's a slow delay.
Here's the sub. Hit it. Nope.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
You would hear it, and it would come out
but man, you can show somebody that with a Pepsi bottle or Coke bottle. Just go down and just play with the air.
Well, you said you dove, so you had the air in your lungs, and then you come up and it expands.
Well,
right?
They said the most important thing to do while you come up is to breathe normally.
Yeah.
Do not hold your breath and don't blow it out.
Yeah.
Just breathe normally. So, buddy, I was so fucking scared. I was like, I'm breathing normally, right? I'm breathing normally, right?
Yeah.
Am I breathing normally? Am I thinking about it too much? Am I thinking about it too much? Am I talking? And then you pop the surface and you're like, waiting for your eyes to blow out of your head or something.
Once you get to the top, there's that delay, and then he did it wrong.
See what happens?
Don't do what he did.
See all the brain matter?
Yeah. The rule is to just keep pace with your bubbles, right? So you're breathing out. Like you don't want to beat your bubbles on the surface.
Hey, listen, that's a good point. Not only that, man. So we go through this. Dude, you should have been a Marine. We did this training where they had this fucking massive room with a pool in it.
Yeah.
And it's a fake helicopter. Just the middle of it.
Yeah.
They don't have the cockpit of the pilots for some reason. but just the back where you are. And then you got all these guys telling you all this stuff. All right, we're going to do this. It's like getting ready for a scary ride at a music. You're like, oh, what? I'm like, but don't worry about it. It's going to be divers in the water. This is going to happen to the rest. And they're like, do not try to do it until the thing goes completely upside down. Hold your breath. Don't. Then if you do get disoriented, just follow the bubbles. The bubbles are always going to go up, and that's where you're going to survive. But if you don't do that, we do have divers in the water. Are you ready to go? Enjoy your ride. And you're like, what? And I was, dude, it was. Everyone thinks it'd be so easy, right? Everyone's like, I'll just swim out the window.
Yeah.
Not the way it goes, bro. First of all, choppers are top heavy because they got the engine up there. So that motherfucker flips over. So now you're upside down. So and you're like,
to orient yourself.
No,
first.
you're like, and you're trying not to inhale water. And I'm like, holy shit. And the biggest thing is stay calm. And then get out and you try to swim out. And the divers are right there.
Yeah.
But you can still inhale water with them right there.
Yeah. It doesn't take much to drown.
But yeah, that's some scary fucking shit. I think being deep under the ocean is scarier sometimes than being in fucking outer space, man.
Yeah. I mean, those are the times, like moment like that.
Don't you ever, when you're sleeping on the sub, just go, man, I hope I don't hear some noise. Like, like something going, tish, tish, like slowly crushing you to death.
Well, that's what you start to think about. It's like, how would it happen? Like, would water slowly pour in and ground?
Yeah.
Or you just, and then everyone's done.
And it's over.
Once, yeah.
Well, I mean, the good thing about the Marine Corps is, like, most of the time you're probably just pink mist, right? Somebody's going to blow your ass up or you're going to get shot in the face.
With a sub, like, it's all steel. So there'll be a part of the boat that does that.
Steel?
It's
I thought it was like titanium.
Like we got them from someone else.
Thor's hammer. Or where did they get Thor's hammer? Don't you guys all believe in that shit?
So a part of the boat would do that. It's not like that mini sub that just fucking. Yeah,
the guy made out of shit in his backyard.
Yeah. That was small fiber. That's all done, right? But like
he's like, hey, I don't hire old white guys.
Right.
To fucking steer my stubs. You know why?
They all have submarine years of experience. Like
because they have 30 years of sub experience and they haven't died yet.
Yeah,
so I'm going to get this 20